Remember how you acted last episode when I mentioned the show? You were like,
let me turn my light on. I just was like, oh, it's everywhere. Why is everyone pressure cooking me? Why is everyone trying to sell me cocaine? Damn. Okay, I'll watch it.
And then you were a minute in and you texted me.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen. Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, this can't be life.
Oh.
I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm a TV writer. I'm an actress. I'm a producer and graphic designer.
This definitely is life. This is absolutely life, whether we want to admit it or not. I'm DeLon Grant. I'm an actor, singer, writer, photographer, educator, and I'm also your co-host.
Wait.
Ahead,
I have to say, this week's tagline comes to us from Tiffany. She sent us a very nice email that says, I wanted to reach out and share how much I've been enjoying the podcast since discovering the show in my YouTube recommendations. I've been hooked. I even went back to the very beginning to catch up on every episode. I love the conversations and find myself laughing along with you and side-eyeing the nonsense. Since we're at the end of the year, this is the tagline that I think sums up 2025 perfectly. I love the show and can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for both of you and the podcast. Thank you, Tiffany. So many of y'all have sent us great taglines. Don't forget, you can email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com. You can send it via text like Tiffany, or send us a voice note from your phone, and we might include it in the show.
Yes, I also love that. I also expect the taglines to be like audio, but I love that we're just reading the quotes. So also send us quotes. This is great. Send us memes, send us gifts, whatever. Just don't send us your dick pics because... or do. It's a good segue. It's a good
Go for it, Dawn. Go for it.
Guys, I recorded a whole video like Fran and I talked about this off mic yesterday. Bitch, Heated Rivalry is what is happening. Rivalry
No. Wait.
So popular.
Before we go into it, remember how you acted last episode when I mentioned the show.
Let me turn my light on. Give me the light. I just was like, oh, it's everywhere. Why is everyone pressure cooking me? Why is everyone trying to sell me cocaine? Damn. I'll watch it.
And then you were a minute in and you texted me.
I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm like, there's nothing else happening for the rest of the evening. Class, if you haven't watched this, it's an HBO show like we talked about last week.
No, it's a Crave show that is now, HBO. But it's on HBO. But
okay.
I think it's
tomato.
No, not tomato, because Crave listen, I have lots of praise for the show, but it is very clearly an independent Canadian production. They spent all of $10 to make this show. It was filmed in like 36 days, which is very short for a television show. And it's not it doesn't feel like an HBO production. But
I completely disagree.
Crowd shots where there's 10 people?
Sure. If you're talking about production, but I mean, it fits the brand of HBO.
Yes,
like if we're talking about the sexual tension, but also I would argue like HBO also pushes the boundary. Like this is not a great comp, but like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, the violence became way too much. The sex became way too much. But the show itself, because it was pushing that boundary, we're like, oh God, this is a lot. Not only that, the writing in of itself, it was a book before, it was a book series before, but because they were unafraid to you haven't watched Game of Thrones, class, too late, to kill off characters, it was like revelatory in terms of like storytelling, you know? And so like, I just think these two queer characters that are like major league hockey players, we're going to ruin it for you, class. It's like of the brand, and also they're fucking. They are fucking.
Don't get me wrong. It does fit the HBO brand, but I do think it's worth giving Crave the props for it because unfortunately we are in a TV era where you don't really have shows that have leads that aren't stars. These two guys were not stars before this show. They have gone from like 1,000 followers on Instagram to over 1 million. And I think that is something very emblematic of like Canadian television, where you don't have to have like a big name and a huge social following. Whereas on HBO, for example, think about Rachel Sennett. talented, hardworking. I love LA, but like she came up on social media and has a name for herself before she gets her own television show
I
on
mean, I would push
HBO.
back. I would push back. I mean, I hear your point, but like all of those Game of Thrones people, none of them were stars before. Now they're stars, right? So,
Yes,
like,
yes. I'm not saying it
again,
never happens, but
sure,
like I
sure.
want Crave to get there. Listen, I'm trying to get a
Back to
job at
Heated
Crave.
Rivalry. I was
Crave.
like, girl, you're really pushing. Girl, talk about fucking lobbying. Jesus Christ. No, I really do think like Crave and Jacob Tierney and whoever wrote that book need to send all of us a fucking commission. The straight women, the gay
Yes.
men, but I don't know if
Yes.
the straight men are. If y'all are watching it, I'm proud of you.
I
But
don't think
like
I don't
because
know. Are
all of
class, are the straight men watching this show?
straight men, are you watching it? I don't know. I mean,
Are
listen,
straight men
I have
watching
some
this show?
pretty sensitive, open straight male friends. Not many,
Mm-hmm.
just like one or
Mm-hmm.
two. Anyway, I just like everyone in my community was talking about this show. You talked about it last season, and you were like, or last episode, excuse me, and you were going crazy, losing your mind.
Yeah.
And I understand. I fucking understand.
Yeah, it was really great. I want to highlight this comment that we got on last week's episode from Patricia Morency 6653. She says, to your heated rivalry convo, it reminds me of the boy love in Japan and how it's mainly marketed towards cishet women. It's a nuanced topic for sure. Male fantasy by and for women in Japan, a history of the subgenres of yao fictions is a book that was recommended here. And we got a number of comments about this. This is actually a huge genre in Japan, male or boy love, and I'd never heard of that before. So I was late to the game in that respect.
Well, yeah, and you said via text that like you sent me some meme about a TikTok or excuse me a thread or a tweet or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, an X, I don't know what you call it.
It was from
Um,
Threads.
okay, a thread about how I forget what you said, but you kind of encapsulated it and said like, "Oh, women are starved for romance,"
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
I that makes total sense to me. And you and I were talking about like because I'm not straight, I'm not a straight woman, so I don't know. But I being in relationship with them, oftentimes their complaint is that he's insensitive or he's not vulnerable or
Mm-hmm.
he's not emotionally available or all those things. And you can speak to this way more than I can.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that you have two men who have all those masculine things, right? They're hockey players, they're quote unquote straight or closeted at the time, and then to see them have a very vulnerable experience and fall in love with each other, I can see why it's like, oh, that never happens in real life. So
Yeah.
I'm consuming it here and it feels good, and it's also
Yeah.
sexy.
As a recovering heterosexual, as a part-time hetero, yeah, I do feel like a lot of straight men struggle with being emotionally vulnerable. And like, these are not totally spoilers, but like in the series, you do see the two of these characters kind of go through a journey sexually, but also go through this journey emotionally to be soft with each other and talk about their feelings and like share what's going on in their lives. And it's really beautiful. And myself and many other women have talked about how if you want to date straight men, it can really be a challenge because so many of them have been socialized to think of emotions as feminine. You know, that's gay,
Mm,
that's gay shit. You know, you don't talk about your
mm.
feelings, you're supposed to be stoic all the time. There's all these memes about where a man says, oh, my friend's calling off the wedding, and the wife says, well, why? And he's like, well, I don't know. It's like, well, you didn't ask any follow-up questions. We've talked about this many times in the pod, Delon. So I do think that this show really, of course, the sex scenes, they're incredible, but like the romance and like the vulnerability and all of that stuff is really sexy, and it's really well written in that regard. Like it does feel a little fan fiction-y at times, but it
Sure.
also has moments where the dialogue feels really natural, and the little like back and forth between the two of them where they're kind of teasing each other and getting to know each other. Like it's really hot, and it's also really satisfying. Like there's something about like watching the journey and like having it come to completion is
Yeah,
like,
I think it's
oh
also because
yes.
the way it's laid out, right? The idea that like it takes them spoiler, it takes both of them forever to say I love you, and like
It's
we
years.
also, yeah, but you also see like how they want to, how they, you get to see, to your point, yeah, years, how they're falling in love, and you're like, just
Mm-hmm.
say it. Why? What
Mm-hmm.
is the hard part? But to your point, it's so satisfying and gratifying when they actually do say it. The other thing I want to say is I really appreciate the queer sexual visibility that the show has. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, there are queer stories, but we're often like the comic, in terms of men, I'll speak for that, like comic relief, or there's something about us needing to come out or being disenfranchised, or what have you, which are very true stories and need to be told. But there's something I've woken up every day thinking about this show since I've seen it, and I started listening to the book because I was like, I
Wow.
can't,
He's a fan.
I want more. I
Mm-hmm.
want more.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, why am I still thinking about it? And I was like, it's the first time I felt like um everyone talking about something that is my experience in that way. But like, a lot of gay culture is like clandestine or behind closed doors, or you don't see a lot of PDA, and so to have everyone be like rallying, and it kind of Pose was another moment like that for me, when
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh my god, this is such a great show. So like, to see the sexual visibility is really filling my cup up, girl. It's filling my cup up.
Oh, listen, I was tickled that you were so into it. And Delon and I were on the phone for like over an hour yesterday talking about Heated Rivalry. So obviously, like, we both really enjoyed the show. Class, tell us in the comments if you've watched it. There were a number of people who said that they were on the fence, but me
Ooh.
talking about it on the show
Girl,
made
you
them
better
want
do
to
a
check it
hurdle
out.
over that, girl. Hurdle over that, fence. You better loosen them hips up, girl. Oh, shit. Wait, can I mention one other book that I actually just read that I was telling you
Yes.
about? It's called Razor Blade Tears. I was looking it
Oh, I
up.
put it
Sorry, I
on
was
my
looking it up
list.
while you were saying that, because I wanted to mention at the tail end of this. It's by S.A. Cosby.
Hmm.
I don't think there's a relation. If
But it's
there is,
also
who
a queer,
knows?
but it's also a queer story, right?
Well,
It's like
queer-esque. Like,
yes.
there's a queer element to it, but the queer part of it is the catalyst for a lot of what
Hmm.
happens in the story.
Yeah.
It has also been sold and or optioned as a movie. Riveting, friends.
Yeah.
Razorblade Tears, and
It's like a
it deals with,
thriller, right? Like,
it's a
can you say a
thriller, but
a little synopsis
sure.
without
So
spoiling?
it's it's these two dads who are basically reconciling their queer sons who were married. So there, I
Hmm.
won't tell you a lot more than that, but these dads have to like do a lot of work.
Hmm.
And it's also action based, and it's also, there's like I don't know how this author did it. There's a racial element to it. There's a
Because
queer story,
it's an interracial relationship, right?
interracial relationship, yeah, in the
Hmm.
South, no less.
Hmm.
And so it's mainly about the dads, but like they heal through the actions that they take, but they heal with each other, which is, I
Mm.
also talked about, I put this video up, I'm going to put this video up after we're done recording, but I talk about this play called A Case for the Existence of God that I did a few years
Yes.
ago, where the playwright's by this guy Sam D. Hunter, who I just saw in Provincetown, but he talked about platonic male love, and how the only time we
Mm.
see two men on stage or on screen is if they're gonna fight, or there's a tense moment, or they're gonna fuck, right? And he was like,
Hmm.
I wanted this like platonic male love. This story has these two opposites becoming uh, intimate and in love with each
Yeah.
other, and it's
Yeah.
so fucking beautiful because of their gay sons. It's beautiful. Hard reco.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm also like tickled that you're getting into the audiobook world because this year, class, if you don't have Libby, and Delon, I'll recommend it to you too. It's
Oh
like a
yeah.
free radio, or not free library app where you essentially can rent audiobooks and digital books from your local library. And it's great because I had an Audible membership, and you only get a certain amount of credits every month, and so it's been really great using this Libby app to just get free books. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit because they have a
Hmm.
limited number of licenses, but it's been feeding me all year round. I've listened to so
That's an
many books.
alternative to Spotify, because
Yeah,
everyone's out here, pushing
because
back on the Spotify.
and I will also tell you, Spotify limits how many audiobooks you can listen to, because that's why I stopped using Spotify for that reason.
Okay.
And I didn't
Okay.
know. All of a sudden, you'd cap out. I'm in the middle of a book, and it's like, okay, you're done with your listening hours for the month. I'm like, what? And you can't pick it up till the next month. So I moved over to
Wow.
Libby, and it's been a huge help. So, class, I went onto our YouTube and I asked y'all to pitch us topics for this week's episode. This one comes from Chelsism917. She says, I hope you both had a happy holiday, maybe recapping some of the biggest wins of the year, both personal and professional and nationally. What themes do you see for yourself and everybody going to 2026? Let Me Fix It is the highlight of my week, some weeks, so I appreciate everything y'all do, and I look forward to learning more from you in 2026. Y'all are gassing us up this week.
Stop it. I'm going to get my forehead's going to be even bigger by the end of this episode.
All right, well, I want to say some professional pod wins. We made this move over to YouTube. We really got serious about it over the summer. I'm going to say July. And we have really hit our goals. One of the things that I wanted us to do was hit 100,000 views a month. This month, we hit 135,000 views on YouTube.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
That's the most we've done the entire time we've been making the show. And so that was really exciting. We've grown so many subscribers. Our listens are up. We had one viral reel this past month. I think we got like 80,000 views on one of our reels. And the feedback has just been really awesome. And I've been having so much fun strategizing with Delon. Like yesterday, we started talking about Heated Rivalry, and then it turned into a work meeting, which, you know, I kind of snuck that in there. But it's really been feeding me, and I'm genuinely so proud of the show, and I'm just excited. I really want us to do a live show in 2026. We've talked about this before. We are great live.
I'm talking about coming out to LA and
come
spring
to
break.
LA. I'm
don't
coming to
know.
LA for spring break, so we're gonna try and figure that out. But I would really love to do an East Coast and a West Coast version of the live show. So tell us in the comments, class, where you're at. Who knows? Maybe we'll take the show on the road. But I'm also really just excited to be kind of exploring my social media consulting this next year. I've done a little bit this year. I'm expanding. I have some potential clients lined up for top of 2026. And it's really making me feel empowered in the midst of, you know, Hollywood being a mess and a lot of uncertainty in that portion of my career. And so I'm really excited to kind of like take my power back in that respect. What about you, Delon?
Yeah, I'll start with like one thing I think we should all be just excited about, or I'm excited about, and I do feel like an energy pulsating around this moment that we're having politically, is Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani was like he was the gift that we needed as the counterbalance to what's happening politically, and all of us feeling like we have no control. And I just want to double down on this. Zohran aside, like his win is amazing, and he did that with small dollar donors. He has no corporate ties as of right now, as that we know of, right? So he did that with the support of the people, right? We are the government. We hire them to do what we need them to do, right? We vote them in office. And I think we've really forgotten that, because I feel like we have these senators, we have these representatives, we have this fucking president, and we feel like, oh God, why did this happen? What can I do? How do I go rally? Zohran is an example of we also can vote good people in, right? Don't become disillusioned by it. You know, again, they work for us. And if our senators and representatives, not only federal, but also state and local, if they're not doing what we need them to do, we have the power to vote them out.
Vote them out.
Now, I'll tell on myself right here. I don't know who my local reps are. I know who my state reps are, right? But I should also know that. I should be voting in those primaries as well, right? And my city council, right? I don't know who the hell's on city council. I should know that stuff, right? So Zohran, I think, is just, I hope it's a harbinger, meaning like a sign that like more is to come, but we have the power. So I just want to remind us of that. That was a big one for me this year.
Yeah, I think he absolutely is. I mean, I jokingly have been saying it's the Zohran effect, because I've seen a number of young people, Gen Zers, running for office. One that I shared on Threads is actually a Parkland survivor, and he's running for
I saw him in New York.
A local office in New York. There's another one in South Florida. And I think we talked about this previously, that Miami elected its first Democratic female mayor. I mean, so I do think the tide is turning, and for that to happen in Miami is a really big deal, because Florida very conservative, and Miami especially. And so I think you are right. Like there is a shift happening. It's frustrating that it took all of this stuff in order to like mobilize people, but it's always this case of like better late than never, right?
Well, and I'll also say the reason it took us so long is I think I don't think we're just immensely spoiled in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you.
Yeah.
But we're immensely spoiled. And so the idea that something happened, spoiled in that, let me be clear about that. We are spoiled in the sense that we have a stable government. We have an economy that is the economy of the world. The dollar is the currency by which every major country trades. Now that's fading away. They're fucking it up.
Yeah.
But you know, we have a lot of privilege therein. And so we have never felt like, oh, things are really bad here, or I'm feeling really terrible. It's just kind of been ebbs and flows of the economy, ebbs and flows of politics. But I think we now see the authoritarianism happening. I think we now see that like prices are not getting better. I was just like 2 weeks ago, I went to the grocery store and I was like, oh, these prices are high. I was like, I don't have anything in this bag and I just spent $120?
Yeah.
For what? Some crackers and some toothpaste?
Well,
like, it's crazy.
And I just
we're spoiled, and I think that's why the shock, you know.
Yes, I mean, we definitely are spoiled. I think I just would add like a caveat to that unfortunately I think a lot of it is a lot of the trickle down is happening to white people. Because Black and brown people, you know, immigrants, queer people, there are a lot of marginalized communities in this country that have been feeling the negative consequences of this administration and administrations past. Like, let's not say any president is perfect. Granted, Trump has been miles and away horrific and terrible and the worst that I can remember in my timeline or in my lifetime. But the reality of privilege is that there are a lot of people who it's never really affected them before.
Right.
And this is the first time that they're going, oh shit, this is affecting my bottom line, my healthcare, you know, my family is getting rounded up. People that look like me,
I voted for him. How could this happen to me?
How could this happen? Right. And the realization that, you know, that the personal is political, that you really can't just say like, oh, well, I'm not really into politics. I don't really do that. It's like, you don't do politics, but politics will do you. So like, you,
and not in a heated rivalry kind of way.
not in a consensual, we're all having a good time sort of way. Okay.
There's no consent in this game.
It is coming for you. And so, yeah, I think you are right that we are in a pivotal moment. We have shouted out the midterm elections many times here on the pod, but look, 2026 is right around the corner. You better be ready.
You better be ready.
Are you registered? Wait, but what about some personal wins, Delon?
Yeah. No, I have a really big personal one, and class, just hold my hand because this bitch is going to be like, for years, Fran has sat by and watched me do things that I don't want to do, and Fran, there will be so many more years when I do that. You know,
of course,
you know me by now. But she's always an advocate for like, you don't have to do that. Why are you doing that? You always do things you don't want to do. I have really made a point in 2026, and it started toward the end of 2025, to go, I don't want to do that. How much money does that pay? I'm not available for that. Or that's not going to work for me. Or I can do this thing and not that thing.
Yeah.
Or I'll do it, but it has to be more money. Right.
Yeah.
I'm now at a point where I really can, because my time is valuable. And I did a lot this year. You know, I did fucking 6 shows. I had a full-time job. I had another part-time job. It was crazy year. By the end of it, I was so burnt out. And I was like, who's this serving? Why am I doing these things if I'm not either getting money or being able to pay for time? Right.
Yeah.
So that is one that and hold me to it. I jest in the beginning because that's your job as my best friend.
No, but I am really proud of you, and I always will big you up in that way because, you know, I think it's just a facet of your personality. You are such a giver. But you also have to put Delon first, and I'm proud to see this journey, and bear witness to it, as Delon would say. It's huge, and it's something that I hope that our listeners and the class will also take to heart as well. Like, ultimately, you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be the J-Lo to your J-Lo.
You better rah-rah yourself, girl. You better rah-rah. Okay.
Also, side note, Delon, you screaming is one of my favorite. I'm going to do a supercut of you just going,
wait. So, class, you know, I'm a professor. I teach, right? And like my students are genuinely like you in this classroom, and I'm, you know me, I'm vocal, I'm loud, and so I feel so bad sometimes. I'm like behind the kids with a girl, like somebody does something, I'm like, I'm like, they look at me like, what is wrong with this peacock over here?
So, but you know what, Delon? What's so cute is like they're gonna remember that because I had a gay musical theater teacher who would always yell at us, and it was always so funny because on the one hand he would yell at us when we were fucking up, but when we got it right, he was like, oh. Okay, and you knew that you had done that shit, and so those moments stick with students. You know, it's a genuine. I would rather have a teacher do that than give me nothing and be like, "Okay, great job, next up."
I think it's also part of like showing up authentically. Like, you know, I do that here on the pod. I do it in life. And then I go, oh, I'm sorry. I have a really loud, screechy laugh. You're welcome. So yeah, do you have any other collabs for or moments for the year?
Any other moments for the year? No, I think I posted about this on social media yesterday that I'm, you know, really pivoting at this point in my life. And this is something that you and I talk about all the time. Like, I'm not giving up on Hollywood, but class, I sold a television show and the show ended up dying because of the mergers that are happening. The network that the show was at, like my executives got fired. And, you know, I kind of had this like mourning period for that, but also the feeling of like, okay, I don't have time to sit around and cry.
Girl, but
like,
that's you, Francesca, don't act like that's brand new. Girl,
no, it's not.
You. You are like, hey, yes. You are a bulldog, man.
Yes, it is me, but to your question or to the class's question about personal wins, the feeling of, okay, I just have to keep it pushing in a year where like it's been really hard to do that. Like I'm losing my Writers Guild insurance. I just fucking popped a tire like on a pothole, and now I have to freaking spend money on, like, I've had all these extra random expenses. But to my credit, I've been like, okay, cool, let's go. Like I really can't lay down and cry about it as much as sometimes I kind of really want to. And so I am really proud of myself for just saying, like, I'm not giving up on Hollywood, but I'm reevaluating and I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. I'm trying to self-produce some stuff. I'm really doubling down on stand-up. That's kind of one of my big wins this year.
Yeah, man. You've been doing a lot of it, dude.
I've been doing so much stand-up. I have been hosting an open mic like every other weekend. I've been part of a writing group. I've been performing, not as much as I would like to, but in the new year, I'm really going to try and go on tour, and I'm trying to really drill down on like getting a really tight 30-minute set that I can hopefully take out, and I would love to tape my own special or self-produce my own special. So yeah, I feel like I am taking control of my career in a way that for a long time I have just been like, please give me a job, please tell me I'm good enough, and now I'm just like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm the shit. If you don't believe it, then you're lost.
That's also several things. It's your experience in time, right? It's also like you getting tired, but I think you've always been able to leverage the internet to be creative for yourself. And I think the
show right here is perfect
case in point. So I think that's also a part of it. Last thing I want to say just about, I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention like the reckoning culturally that we're having with AI. And so not that we've talked about this on the pod before, so we don't have to go into it, but I think just I want to bookmark that. Like, not only like is AI doing really some good things for us, you know, it's I find a good recipe, I asked it to proofread some stuff, you know, I actually use it to help me produce my own music, which I'll be doing a lot more of in 2026. But we've also figured, I have friends that go to it for therapy and people who have dated it. And I'm like, this is kind of dangerous. You just sent me a meme of a woman who was using it to do her self-tape audition. And the damn AI couldn't understand the instructions. Right?
I will put a link to that in the description because it's so funny. The AI just kept talking. It was like, great, now your line. She's like, don't say my line.
So, Fran, have you seen or experienced some of the things that are happening on TikTok that are like really kind of anti-Semitic and racist?
Well, I saw that someone was selling a swastika necklace.
Did you see the swastika class?
And it was up for way too long.
It was an ad. I screenshotted it. I was like, I sat there forever. I was like, is this a swastika that they're selling on what?
On TikTok Shop.
Then I was recording this video that I'm going to post talking about Heated Rivalry, right? And this, the sound automatically kind of, do you want this sound?
Yeah.
The sound was like, we should put a link to it, or I recorded it because I was like, this is fucking
what was
crazy.
The sound?
Like, Jews will be Jews. Jews will be Jews, and niggas will be niggas. White, some dudes saying, and then being like,
and TikTok picked that for you?
Yes, they're untrustworthy. This is, I swear to God, I'll play it for you right the fuck now. I could not believe it. I was like, so that's 2 in 2 weeks, the swastika and this recording. I don't know what's happening, but like there's some kind of, I'm conspiracy theorying here. Yeah. But it feels like there's some kind of inundated, I don't know.
Well, the thing that is frustrating
thing happening.
The thing that's very frustrating to me with TikTok, and let me be clear, no social platform is perfect. Every single one has its issues. But what's wild to me is TikTok has all of these AI bots that are used to moderate the platform. And in class, if you've ever used TikTok, you will testify that you will leave an innocuous comment. You could literally be like, yeah, that's right, bitch. And TikTok will flag it and be like, hate speech. And you're like, what? I didn't use any hate speech. And then when you try to appeal, it says your appeal is denied. And I've had videos. I made a video where I was like talking about Palestine fundraising, and I got flagged for promoting conspiracy theory. And the video got... I am 1000% serious. I tried to appeal. It took it down. And I was having stuff flagged all of the time last year. This year, not so much because I haven't been posting as much. But like, for example, I did a Leopard song about Kyle Rittenhouse because he had made some comments about Donald Trump and the MAGA were like turning on him. And the photo that I used of Kyle Rittenhouse was him holding a gun. And my video got flagged for displaying weapons. And I was like, it's a photo of a gun. Couldn't appeal, got a strike. Now, turn to, you can sell a swastika in TikTok Shop and that doesn't get flagged. You can, like, I have had people leave full-blown racial slurs in my comments. And when I respond matching the energy, not even like matching the energy as in using a slur, but being like, fuck you, you dumb bitch, I get the strike.
Wow.
You can put the gorilla emoji in my chat, in my comments, and you don't get a strike, but I do. And then like most recently, Delon, I don't know if you saw this, a woman was live streaming while driving and hit somebody with her car and killed him.
Yes.
And killed him. And, she was using, apparently TikTok has a feature only during live streams where if you are driving, it will flag you and shut down your live stream. Well, this woman put on a green screen so that you couldn't see that she was driving.
Oh my fucking God. It's like that. It's that deep? It's that deep?
It's that deep. But again, I will also say the fact that so many people make content driving on TikTok and they don't receive any sort of strike, but then it just seems like the rules are not applied. They're not applied.
It's algorithmically. That's how they're applied.
It's like a real person is not applying these things. It's not actually prioritizing the safety of the users. There needs to be a real person looking at these things. And again, there are tons of people using the platform, but like if you're able to have something that can determine if the camera is moving in a car, you should be able to apply that across all content, not just live stream. If you are penalizing people for cursing in their comments, you should absolutely penalize people for pushing anti-Semitic, racist, hate speech, propaganda. I mean, it's just nuts.
if it can spot you cursing, or if it can spot, the driving thing, I don't know how it doesn't have some kind of audio detection to go,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this sound is people having sex or racial slurs,
Right,
or you
right.
know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like maybe they haven't. What they should maybe do, and look again to your earlier point about the AI of it all. If you could use it as like a first line of defense, like it checks the audio and then a real person checks it, I think that that would make way more sense than just having it be the be all end all. Because I have filed appeals a number of times and they've been denied immediately. Like, and not even
Wow.
enough time that I know, like, okay, 24 hours later, it's like I push send and it's like, no.
AI.
So a real person absolutely did not look at this. Yeah, I did see that swastika necklace. It was up for a very long time.
I mean, I couldn't. I scrolled past it, and then I went back because I was like,
Hmm.
"Is that really what the fuck I'm seeing?" And it's back to the privilege I was talking about earlier. I don't see that on the internet, in the
No.
in the algorithm that I exist in. So I was just really kind of dumbfounded, and also dumbfounded by that soundbite.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know
crazy,
if it got taken down, but I did see a number of people posting about it.
crazy.
And yeah, the fact that it wasn't taken down immediately is a huge red flag because again, TikTok knows how to take things down immediately, but
Right,
priorities.
right.
I wanted to highlight another suggestion from the class. This is from Bisu L. It says, talk about Dave Chappelle's new stand up special on Netflix. It came out last week. Also, I want to say I've been binge watching your channel during my extended holiday break. It's become my comfort channel for me. So
Welcome.
did you see any of Dave Chappelle's new stand up special?
I only saw the clips that were being shared on social media about what he said with the Saudi Arabia thing. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
say, I think Dave Chappelle is really funny. I think Dave
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle's really funny, but I've kind of just had to like
Let
stop
him go.
consuming him because of this trans thing that he won't let go of. And so
Yeah.
I'm not going to consume the content if I know that, like, and he thinks it's funny and people think it's funny, and he's trolling the world with it, and whatever. Again, I'm not taking anything away from his talent. He's brilliant. I think he's exceptionally funny. And the things that I did see about the Saudi Arabia thing, class, if you don't know, maybe some of you do, there was this big comedy festival in Saudi Arabia, and headlining comedians were there, and a lot of comedians got a lot of pushback from not only other comedians but from us Americans, saying, like, they've done a lot of terrible things. This journalist Jamal Khashoggi was like dismembered, and it's
Mm-hmm.
alleged that the Saudi crown prince, he did it. He really did have it happen. So people were like, why are you doing this? Where are your morals? And
Yeah.
Dave like made a really good point about why he did it, and kind of pointed the finger back at us, which I think was really smart. He's a smart comedian, but I didn't consume it. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch the whole special. I watched some of it. My mom was here and we were flipping and it started playing, and so we watched it. And I did see his rebuttal to the Saudi Arabia thing. I don't actually think that his response was great at all. He kind of turned it around and said, "Oh, Saudi Arabia is killing journalists. Well, so is Israel." And it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's also bad. I didn't understand the correlation that he was trying
I
to
think
make.
I would say that it was, well, that's also bad. So who are
Yeah.
we to morally have some moral high ground on anything with it?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't understand that rebuttal because me personally, I've also been, very actively pro-Palestine and called out the ways in which Israel is trying to cover up this genocide and the way that they've been killing journalists. And so to me, it felt like he was suggesting that people have looked the other way with Israel and are being extra critical to Saudi Arabia and not Israel. And like, to me, that just feels like a straw man argument. But to your point about the trans thing, I have very similar feelings. He had a long tirade in this special about why he likes Saudi Arabia and how it's easier to speak freely there, which is again clearly not true, because a lot of the
Oh my
comedians were
God,
given
the contract.
they were
There was a
given a
contract. They were like, you
list
can't
of
talk about, you cannot criticize the government. You cannot do this. You cannot say these things.
they
Yeah.
had a whole list of things they weren't allowed to say. And there was another comedian, I can't remember his name, who had gone on a podcast and had been invited to the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia. And he said something along the lines of like, who cares that they've killed journalists? And they snatched his contract back. They said, you will not, he hadn't left yet. And he was like talking
Wow.
shit about how, who cares? And they said, no, you will not be coming. So Dave's going on this
Hilarious.
tirade in the special about how you can say whatever you want in Saudi Arabia. And he has this whole bit about how he had a joke that he told there that had done so well that it actually killed someone in the audience. And when the person died, it was revealed that they were trans because their genitals fell out. I mean, the premise is just so fucking stupid. And then he goes on to say that he, went to jail and he was so worried. But then, like, the big punchline is, turns out in Saudi Arabia, killing a trans person is just a misdemeanor. And like the audience is just like screaming, laughing. And it's just like, I just don't understand what his obsession is with trans person. Like, who is the doll that broke Dave Chappelle's heart? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I love when that. I forget that actress's name.
Trace
but she was
Lysette.
like Trace Lysette. When she said that, that was the best comeback. She's like, it's giving. I don't want to kiss on the mouth. It's giving. No.
It really is, because the other part of it is like, I am somebody that grew up watching the Chappelle Show. I loved the Chappelle Show. I've worked at Comedy Central. Like, he is somebody that I really looked up to as like a pioneering comedian, and like just like the way that he blended social commentary with like absurdity. I grew up loving Dave Chappelle, and I went and saw him at, I think it was Madison Square Garden, and it was maybe like 2017 or 2018, and he had started that trans stuff then. And I was so disappointed. And I remember writing about it on my Tumblr, and a number of people saying, oh, you don't understand. And I was fucking working at Comedy Central at the time. And people were like, you don't understand comedy. I was like, I literally am a comedy writer. And I had someone say something to the effect of, well, who cares? It's not like any trans people were there. And I countered with, actually, my friend that is trans was in the audience, but even if she wasn't there, why are you so obsessed? It was like the Dave Chappelle fanboys were already making excuses for him, and now we are 10 plus years later, or coming up on 10 plus years later, and it seems he is still harping on trans people without actually recognizing, like, you've never been canceled, bruh. You've had multi-million-dollar contracts for these specials. And in this same special, he had a whole run about Charlie Kirk, which I actually thought was really smart and really funny. And he kind of talked about how Charlie Kirk was, this provocateur, and he shouldn't be held to the same, people are, comparing him to MLK, and that's wrong. And he was just a troll, and, very smart stuff. And then he immediately pivots into bashing trans people. And it's like, you're so close, Dave. You're so fucking close.
And the thing that, like, I mean, you were a big Chappelle show fan. I really didn't watch it. When I watched it, like, actually, there was something that came up on social media. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was a Chappelle show skit. Like, I've never been, I was never comfortable with race being used for Comedy Central because it felt like it was very white facing, and I think he even said that.
And then he ended up leaving for that very reason.
So, like, I was always like, oh, this feels like a very Dave Chappelle, a yucka, like I'm shucking and jiving, and it wasn't for me. I didn't watch it in real time, but I've seen clips of it here and there. But back to the trans thing, I have thought about this because I do respect him as a comedian. I think he's so intelligent. I think he's very funny. I wish there was an explanation, not that he has to, not that we need one, but it would make me, I don't know, say a fan, I don't know, of like why he is doing it, right? If there was a social commentary like he did on Chappelle's show that we were supposed to get, even if it offends some people, comedy offends some people sometimes, I don't see any glimpse of light in there. I'm like, you're just bashing them for the sake of bashing them.
Well,
and I think that's the missing piece for me to watch anything that he does. And I'm
I mean, it's the idea of punching up versus punching down. And look, I can't say for sure why he's doing it, but it does in many ways feel like it's you told me I can't do this, so I'm going to.
Yes.
And there are unfortunately a lot of comedians who fall into this place of like,
let's say male comedians.
Yes, but there are some female comedians that do this too.
Excuse me, I didn't let you finish the sentence. Sorry.
But I'm going to say, but you and I are on the same page. You know exactly where I'm coming from. It's this idea of like nothing is off limits. Right. I'm allowed to make jokes about whatever I want. And I would counter to say that technically, yes, you are allowed, right? Because we're not in fucking Saudi Arabia, Dave Chappelle. No one is going to arrest you because you made a joke that people didn't like.
Right.
But the same way that you're allowed to make jokes about whatever you want, the audience is allowed to say, I don't like that joke. And I cannot stand it when comedians do this thing of like, oh, I'm being persecuted. And it's like, no, you're not. Your job is
comedy.
Your job is to make jokes. And if the audience doesn't like the joke, then they are allowed to say that they don't like the joke.
And you don't get to heckle them and be like, you're stupid. Right. And you know, what? This is why I appreciate Ricky Gervais, who also I have problems with sometimes. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. But what I appreciate about Ricky Gervais is he's actually not just being like, you're stupid. He's making a comment or creating a scenario, a joke where he talks about, he analyzes what's happening with that. Okay, you're judging me for this thing, but what about this thing that does this? And I'm not a comedian. But he unpacks it a little bit more and makes you go, okay, I still don't like that you called that kid a monkey. Not that he did, right? I'm making that up. I still don't like that you said that thing, but I understand where your thought process. It was still fucking racist, you know? Yeah. But like, I get what you're trying to get us all to see, if that makes sense.
I also think given like the current state of what's happening in this country where people are, you know, the Charlie Kirk of it all is a perfect example. People lost their jobs simply for repeating things that Charlie Kirk had said.
Crazy,
And so in the same breath, for you to call out the fact that we should not be, you know, whitewashing this man's history and that people are misrepresenting who he was, and we should call him out for his racism, to then turn around in the same breath and be transphobic and somehow make yourself the victim of the consequences that, let's be real, you haven't experienced any real consequences.
Right.
Nothing has, like, it is so frustrating to me. I saw this comment a number of times on our Nicki Minaj episode of this thing of like, oh, now you want to cancel her. No one is being canceled by a podcast saying, I don't agree with that thing that person said, right? Like, being canceled is in my opinion, is this misnomer that gets applied to everything from
being critical.
Being critical, but it's used to describe such a wide variety of consequences, like, oh, you know, your video got taken down on TikTok. Oh, you lost a brand deal. Oh, people aren't going to buy your book or see your movie. Oh, I've been canceled. Well, though we have words for all of those consequences. We don't need to call it canceled. Anytime something happens, they've been canceled. No, people are allowed to say, I don't like the thing that you said or did, and so I'm not going to support you.
You know what's funny is you bring up a really good point, and I think that's not only internet speak, but that just is a huge indication of how we live on the internet. Like, so somebody can criticize the thing that you did, but you still have kids, you have a job, why does it matter? Like, the phone is, I guess we do live on the internet, but that's fascinating, kind of blowing my mind open. I'm like, yeah, that is internet speak, but it's not, I mean, is that really causing you any consequence other than people are talking about it?
No, and it's so wild to me when people, again, use this cancel culture thing, and I saw it a lot with the Nicki, I see it a lot with Dave Chappelle, where people are like, oh, this person's just saying what they want and you're trying to cancel them. And it's like, me personally, I'm not looking for any physical consequences to happen to Dave Chappelle because he says transphobic things. I have just made the decision that I'm not going to, you know, again, I watched 20 minutes of the special and I cut it off. I was like, I don't want to continue watching this. And then I saw the comment about it. I was like, all right, worth talking about in response to the comment, but I actively don't support him anymore. You know, I paid for that ticket in 2017 and I said, that's the last dollar that Dave Chappelle will get from me. And that is my right. And people are allowed to make decisions about who they support with their time, with their dollars, and with their energy. And it's so frustrating to me that, cancel culture gets applied anytime someone expresses displeasure or someone suffers consequences for their actions. You might not think the consequences were earned, or you might think the consequences are too far, but this is not a new cultural phenomenon. Consequences have happened since the beginning of time.
Right, and why we try to evade the consequences. So class, You seem to love our new game. Name that white woman. Let me share my screen with you. Name that white woman, but this is the millennial nostalgia version. Ha 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 ha. Okay,
I'm
so
ready.
here's how it will go. I'll give you the title of a TV show that we used to love as kids, that we used to watch, and you have to tell us what white woman starred in that. Okay.
Okay.
So the first example will be pretty easy, right? Mean Girls. Who starred in that?
Lindsay Lohan.
Great. Lindsay Lohan. Right. Two points for
Great job.
Gryffindor. Great. So, but with Mean Girls, I'll give you a twofer here. So there was another major actress in Mean Girls.
Oh.
But she was the star of The Notebook. Do you know that actress?
Rachel McAdams.
Wow, well done. She was Regina George in Mean Girls. She was Allie Hamilton in The Notebook. I fucking love The Notebook. Oh, God,
I've never seen The Notebook.
Are you serious?
I've never seen it.
Girl,
I know the
watch
meme.
that once a week.
I know the meme of like her kissing Ryan.
What do you want? What do you want? Oh God, what do you want? Oh my God, I love that movie.
Okay, I know you always come for me doing impressions, but not you doing an impression.
I love Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. What's
Gosling.
his name? Ryan Gosling. That's him.
Okay, next one. Clarissa explains it all.
Dun, 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 dun.
She also starred in Sabrina the
Teenage Witch. Melissa Joan Hart.
Proud of you, Melissa Joan Hart. Come on, Melissa Joan Hart.
She looks good.
Banging. First picture I saw.
Unproblematic queen. Don't tell us anything about her in the comments, class.
Shut
I
your
don't
mouth.
want to know. I don't want to know.
So this one's hard. This one's a doozy because I didn't remember this person's name, but you remember Punky Brewster?
I do remember Punky
Tell us if you play along. I hope you're playing along, but also tell us if you knew these actresses.
She has a very unique name.
Yes, very.
Her name is Soleil Moonfry.
Oh my God. How did you get that? Fran, didn't even know. Just wow.
I did know her name. I
Proud
did.
of you. Okay, Harry Potter.
And now just anybody from Harry Potter? Or no, because
it has to be the white woman. Name that white woman.
I was like, now wait a second. Emma Fox? No, Emma Stone? Emma Watson?
Oh my God! I'm so proud of you, girl. I thought that woman stood you.
Emma looks good.
Can we talk about how she's a teenager in the first photo in the movie, and she also looks the same? I mean, it might have been taken at the same time, but she still looks that fucking great.
Yeah, she does. I mean, like not in the sense of like the aging. I like the styling. Like I just feel like she looks very classy. She looks very grown.
It's also giving it's giving an updated version of like what's her name from Friends.
Oh, Rachel.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. Yeah.
It's like an updated version of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clueless.
Oh, easy. Alicia Silverstone.
Why was this girl? I thought this girl's name was Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think it is Alicia Silverstone. You know what's so weird, Delon, is like early in my YouTube career, people used to say I looked like a black Alicia Silverstone. I think it's because I talk out of the side of my mouth, and so does she.
Oh my God! You know what? In her updated picture, you do make that mouth sometimes.
We both talk out of one side of our mouth. I don't know when I started doing it.
So funny!
I know.
Oh my God!
Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious. You know what? I'm seriously giving it to you. It's the mouth for sure.
Do you see it right now?
God, you know, without this hair, it is just making your face glow so much more too. If I'm honest.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm into it.
Okay, so Clueless is there was more than one in Clueless, more than one white woman in Clueless.
Oh, she died. Brittany Stone. I can't remember.
I see why you did that.
Brittany, not Brittany Stone. It's Brittany. Oh God, I can't.
She's related to Ryan
Gosling. No, Brittany. I don't know. I can't. Brittany.
Oh, that was a hard
Murphy.
clue.
Brittany Murphy.
That was a good clue, kind of, right?
Oh, yeah.
May she
Oh,
rest. She's beautiful,
Brittany
man.
Murphy. My God, so talented.
I know. There's one more in Clueless, though.
Another white woman? Oh, the redhead? I don't know what that girl's name is. You are so wrong for that.
I mean,
my
where's the lie?
God.
Where's the lie?
Listen, Stacey Dash was, you remember she was a correspondent on Fox News?
Yes.
And she sold her soul to Fox News, and she's been trying to ingratiate herself with Black people ever since.
I mean, listen, also, like, what has she made other than Clueless?
She was in the All Falls Down Kanye West video. Then it all falls down. She was hot in that video.
She's
Can't tell you, class.
Still fucking
can you
hot.
tell us? Can you name 5 things that Stacey Dash was in
What
outside
Tyler
of Clueless?
Perry movie was Stacey Dash in?
I mean, I could see.
I just made that up.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but
Me either.
Yeah, no. Let's do a glow up and then wrap this bad boy up.
It sounds good.
Do you want to go first?
No, I really don't have a glow up, actually.
Okay, so now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the glow up, where we give props to those that have turned themselves around without our help. I will go first. My glow up, Delon, you're sick of hearing about this, but it goes to this new app that I'm using in the gym called Ladder. Class, in order to tighten up my finances, I got rid of my personal trainer, pour one out for my trainer. I've had a trainer since college. When I graduated from college, that's what I asked for my graduation gift. And I've been very diligent. I love having somebody to push me in the gym. But when I was looking at my numbers, I said, I got to make some cuts. And in my research, I found this app called Ladder. I think it's like $80 for the year. And it's awesome. It is like a personal trainer in your phone. They have all of these different coaches that do different programs. They are 6 weeks each for each program. And it's a progressive overload, meaning it's all dedicated to specific weights, that help you grow your muscles. A lot of times when you're in the gym by yourself, you might not know what machines you want to do or how many reps or what amount of weight. And this has a trainer in your ear while you listen to your own music, and what are you? What are you doing?
You're talking about muscles.
At first I thought you were just Delon, the fact that you have a bicep in a sweater, that's what I call sweater arms. That's how you know that you're fucking jacked.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying out. I'm trying.
Well, listen,
anyway, continue. Sorry.
Class, I can't say enough good things about Ladder. This is not sponsored. It never is. But they did give me a little coupon code. I'll put it in the description box if you want to try it. When I shared on Threads that I was using Ladder, I got so many people that were like, "Oh, this has been my app of choice for the past year or 2 years." It's really great. And especially because I have had a trainer, I can see that it's comparable in that, like, I'm winded. Like, I'm in that gym. I'm struggling. I'm enjoying my break between sets.
You know what's so funny is that I'd be winded. I'd be like, am I okay? Like looking at my heartbeat, and I look at other people and I'm like, they're not doing that. But today at the gym, there was this dude. I could not believe what he was lifting. He was going crazy. He was also like, I was like, oh, I'm working hard. That's what it is. Most people are just kind of like not doing enough weight, or they're kind of doing a few reps, So like, you're hustling. Make it work.
And the thing is like what I said to you recently, Delon, I'm a pusher. I'm trying to get Delon to try this app. I really enjoy it. But the thing is like going to the gym is intimidating. And if you've never done it before, and to your point about you see people who aren't lifting the right amount of weight, sometimes you see someone and you're like, that person's going to hurt themselves.
Way too much,
and you want to be so careful, right? Because you don't want to like, hey, I know I don't know you, but like, you don't want to, invade someone's personal space. You don't want to disrespect them, but like, yeah, you want to be careful. And so that's what I really like about this program this app is that they say to you, like, you're going to do 50% load, meaning like it's going to be difficult, but you're going to be able to get through it, versus 90% means those last two, you should be struggling. You should really feel like, oh my God, I'm tanked, right?
To failure. Yeah, totally.
To failure. Yeah. And so it's just really nice to have a guide. And a little bit of me was like, man, I should have done this sooner because I could have been saving money, but better late than never.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who's
community for you had a lot of stuff going with you with your trainer in your gym.
Yes, and there is a world in which I might end up back there in the new year at some point. But class, if you are trying to set certain fitness goals for 2026 and you need a little bit extra guidance, I genuinely cannot say enough good things about this app. Again, I'm not being paid to tell you about this. I just really enjoy it, and I feel like it's helping me stay the course.
Fran has, since she left that trainer, Fran has told me about this app no less than 4 times. And yesterday she was like, listen, I'm going to send you a free month. I'm going to send you a free month so you can get on it. So I too am about to join her on this app.
You know what it is, Delon? It's like when I get excited about something, like I really want to share it.
Yes.
And Heated Rivalry is a perfect example where I told you about it and I had this moment of like, oh God, I hope when he watches it, he actually likes it. And I felt so validated, as if I had fucking made the show. I was like, oh, I'm so glad he liked it. So I feel the same way when I'm like, oh, I love this recipe. I want you to try it. I'm like, isn't it good? I love
Fran, but even before I try it, you are already selling it. You're like, and then there's this, and then there's this, and I know you do this. So you want that. I'm like, yes, but like you're a marketer. You're a marketer, girl.
I really, really am. So again, the latter app is my glow up. You don't have any glow up for
I did.
our last episode?
Actually, but it's adjacent to that. So actually, a personal glow up that I will share, that wasn't personal. That was kind of like sharing it with the world. But you and I have talked about my Duolingo journey and my Spanish journey. Yo tengo 200 días en Duolingo. I have 200 days doing Duolingo. Okay.
Now, do you think it's really helped you? Because I know you took a class and a lot of... Yeah. Are you going to keep speaking Spanish for the rest of the pod? Please do. I'm a little turned on.
Yo puedo.
Listen, class, when we were in Spain, this motherfucker was like, he was saying everything in Spanish. I mean, I was very impressed.
Mi español no es fantástico. It's not fantastic. No puedo conjugar muy bien. I can't conjugate very well. Y no puedo pensar muy rápido en conversación con people who speak the language. I can't speak like in regular conversation very fast. I have to like sit and pensar sobre todo.
But you speak Spanish.
I can communicate. But to your point about the classes I took before, I took it in high school, but high school language is high school language. You learned hola and adios, right? That's it. And then at college I passed out of it, but then I needed credits because we went to a BFA, or you went to 2 BFAs, but I got a BFA in acting, and I was like, oh, let me take all the acting classes. And I took the requisite gen eds, but because I passed out of the language requirement, I still needed those credits. Anyway, I took this intensive 4 hours Spanish course, 4 hours a day, one summer, which is amazing. And then I took 2.5 years in New York on my own. And I went through this school and I went through every level. But now on the app, we're getting to things that it's no longer just like a game. Now I'm actually learning again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I've gone through everything I know. So listen, I have 200 days on this app. It really helps. It lets you know when you need to, you need to do it before midnight because you'll lose a day.
We were on the beach in Mexico and Delon was like, oh, my Duolingo. I don't want to lose my streak.
I mean, the gamification of it is so brilliant. I know all the little characters. They have little characters, Conversations con Bea,
And see, Delon, what's so funny is that owl on TikTok, the green owl be in people's comments cutting up the Duolingo owl, just talking shit. So like literally it'll be a video of somebody like falling on their ass or something ridiculous, and literally the Duolingo guy is in the comments like, oh, I ran to the comments. I'm like, what is that owl?
Wait, is it their account? It's the Duolingo account?
Class, it's the Duolingo account.
So funny.
And also the owl himself, like a full person, like
regalia.
in a costume, will do videos. And I'm telling you, it's the owl like like throwing ass and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's very funny. Hasn't got me to sign up, but everybody like Duolingo is notorious for their funny comments all over social media, but the place I see them the most is on TikTok.
Well, there'll even be some of the lessons. Some of the lessons you're like, they'll make me laugh sometimes because you're like,
well, you know, Shamika was a writer for Duolingo. Shamika was writing some of those. She was writing some of those funny stories.
Oh my gosh, I should.
So you might be using some stories that she wrote for them.
Oh my god, I'm gonna ask what she wrote. I'm gonna see what she wrote.
Yeah.
Pass, let us know what your app was for 2025.
Oh,
what did you use? Like share and share alike, because you know we love to learn on this podcast.
Oh, so I definitely said Ladder, and then I also mentioned Libby as my other app that I was using for audiobooks. Tell us in the comments. Class, you have really made 2025 so special for us. We cannot say thank you enough for supporting and sharing the show. Make sure to follow us over on Instagram at FixItPod, or you can email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can send us an audio recording of your tagline, or you can send us one via email, or let us know something you would like for us to talk about on the show.
Please, and you know where to get us right here on YouTube every Wednesday. Hit that notification bell so you know when our episodes drop, just in case we change it up on you. But also hit the subscribe button if you are new to us. We really appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next week. I'm Delon.
I'm Francesca, and this was Lemme Fix It.
Cool.
Okay.